I'm here outside Leinster House, the home of the Danann apartheid regime. The Danann are a different race than my people. My people are the Elishahs. They are the original terrorist government. This is the place where terrorism was started. Charlie Hottie was convicted of running guns for the IRA. Now they're behind that is scaffolding, trying to deceive the public. So basically what happens is, we're the Elishahs, and here existed a witch tribe called the Tuatha De Danann, and they've been here for centuries, they've been here for a very long time. So what they done is they got St. Patrick to come in and burn all the books. Satan's project. These islands used to be called the Isles of Elishah, but then they were renamed these Islands of Satan's Scholars. So the scholars of Satan live on these islands. So on Satan's Patrick's Day, they do the work of Satan. Everybody walks around and has a ceremony to the dead. In the Bible it says, witches dwell amongst the monuments and the graves. There's a monument. The GPO is a monument to the dead, which dwell amongst the monument and the graves, which hold ceremonies to contact the dead. The saints are dead, and they eat abominable broths. Well, abominable broth in the eye of the Lord is an Irish coddle. Might seem nothing to you because you haven't been taught that it's abominable. But what we have here, if you look in here, this country is the richest country on the face of the earth. We, per person, we have 100 trillion in gas and oil off the coast. Plus we have all the money in the Vatican Bank because we're going to rule Europe, and then we're going to print our own money. We're not going to be taking the worthless piece of paper from the pagans in Europe anymore, because we're going to promote in this country the Common Interest Alliance. The Common Interest Alliance is the Commonwealth tree, number 3. The first Commonwealth was held by King Arthur Athelstan Callahan. He has a few different names, Arthur the Khan, and he conquered all the tribes in Britain and Ireland and France and Europe, and that was a Commonwealth 1. Commonwealth 2 was the British Empire. The modern British Empire is crumbling, so now we have Commonwealth 3. Commonwealth 3 is going to succeed. I'll tell you why Commonwealth 3 will succeed, because the Lord says he will take his inheritance from every nation in the earth and make a full end of all those nations that resist. They will be consumed with fire. So basically I have a lot of people that think that the Iranian government are a threat. Maybe they are, but there's no government on this earth which is more of a threat to truth, to law, to justice and order than these little feckers in here. These little slippery Tuatha De Danann apartheid government, because these were the ones that were responsible in cahoots with the Vatican for whacking John F. Kennedy, and also now they're trying to get their hands on plutonium. Them and the Germans are always in cahoots. Not all the German people are Anglo-Saxons, but there is a lot of headerballs in all the countries in Europe, including this one, which are a different breed than us. They're called the Tuatha De Danann, the serpent race, and they dwell amongst the monuments. So basically what we have is us, the ones who's gonna forward the Lord's plan. See, we're not full of sloth. We forward the Lord's plan, and forward the Lord's plan is to retrieve all of the remnant from all the heathen nations and make a full end of the heathen nations and pull down all of the temples of the rock whores. Now the rock whores are down here. Now you see, the masons have the pillars. Look, see each mason temple. I just clocked this now. Has 2 pillars. And fellatio or something means it's where the word blowjob comes from. Yeah, it's from fellatio. Now they're blue. You see the way they're covered in blue. They're not covered in red. Red is the colour of the Lord's temple. Red is the colour of Jesus. Red is the colour of what they call the devil. See, my ancestor was a very old individual, and he burnt down loads of churches and all around County Meath when he started to build them, and sacked loads of monasteries all over Britain, Ireland, France. And he gave them a jolly good thrashing up until the Albigensian Crusade, where the Lord said to him, in Psalm 61 it gives you the explanation, the Lord will prolong the years and the life of the king as many generations. Now you see all this black stuff all over. That's your vapour. because this is where this is an altar to any god except the one true God, the Most High God. So these are fallen fucking angels. This is where Patrick. Yeah. And Freemasons, if you go onto the Freemasons website over in England, or if you go onto Bill Malone Pie and Mash Films, most of the convicted serious paedophile and offenders in Britain are Freemasons. So you can be sure that some of the young boys and girls in the Freemasons young musician place of the are after being buggered. Yeah, they're after being sodomized and stuff like that by paedophiles. And you see the couple up there, he's watching the Freemasons Lodge. See him up there? Everyone thinks that the Freemasons, that they're guarding the gate against the house. They are, but they're mostly keeping an eye on the lodge, but they're doing it subtly, because this is the second most important Freemason lodge in the world. I'm not of the world. So basically what you have is that the Dan and apartheid government are terrorists. Now they're trying to get their hands on plutonium. These people are not like me and you. You don't want to be given them plutonium. They're trying to mine plutonium here in this country. They can't be trusted. The British Empire always had a problem with the Dan on this island and their lawyers, because the British Empire is actually started in the Rocket Castle by King Arthur the Khan, Athelstan. Now today we have the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth is the Lord's plan to take the people from, not the people, because here's what you have. The Jesuits run all the people's republics, because they are the people in the Bible. When the Lord says they're people in the Bible, he's talking about the Dan tribe. He said, oh, the Dan are the people. So when he says, when you hear the People's Republic of China, that means the Dan's Republic, the Dan only, because the Jesuits, Google this now, the Jesuits said, not only do we control Paris, France from this office, because they were behind the slaughter of my ancestors, Mary Antoinette, they were behind the slaughter of the Tsar Nicholas and his family, and the French Revolution, these Masons, these kiddie fiddlers. Say, not only do we control Paris, France from this office, but Beijing, China. So basically, your financial crises over the past few years were orchestrated by the Dan to bring China up to the and weaken America and Britain and France and all the European countries, so and to cause World War III, and use China to break out against, because the heathen tribes are multiplying, and so they can what they do is they traumatize the people of the earth, because the people are not the Lord's inheritance, because they have a government. They have a regime. They don't have the royal bloodline of David. They don't have a king over them. The Lord gave David and his inheritance the kingdoms of the earth. So in these days the Lord says, right, that's it, it's had enough. The nation and the kingdom that will not serve thee will be totally and utterly wasted. So basically you have the Jesuits, and all the austerity in the Western Hemisphere and any other country was caused by the Jesuits. So they could build China's forces up, so they could stand up to the re-emerging Commonwealth. Because a man of the cloth is not a man of God necessarily. A man of the cloth, what does that mean, a man of the cloth? Well, in the Bible, if you Google in the Bible, it says the blue and the purple, fine embroidery from the Isles of Elijah. These are the Isles of Elijah, Britain and Ireland, and fine embroidery is lawyers. Embroidery is cloth. So when a priest is a man of the cloth, he's a man of the blue and the purple lawyers of Egypt, the two what they're done. Yeah? He's a man of the cloth, he's a man of the lawyers. He's not a man of God, he's not a man of faith. He's a kiddie fiddler more than likely. He condones kiddie fiddling. He worships a man on the moon, the throne of the Prince of Tyre. The Prince of Tyre is their God. He's a man on the moon, because the Prince of Tyre built the moon. I know it sounds strange, but you are a retarded little maggot. That's exactly what you are. And you probably won't like me telling you that, but it's true. You are in a retarded human condition. You are not fully developed, and if these people run things, you'll never get the chance to fully develop. It's just as well that the Lord forgives, because some of us don't. The Lord will forgive, but others won't forgive.